What's up, everybody? This is ISCD, Hinton of Insane Sports Comedy, checking in right now. Before we start, I want to say rest in peace to Don Shula, who passed away at 90 years old. Legendary head coach of the Miami Dolphins, led them to two straight Super Bowl seasons, one being undefeated. He currently, he, well, actually passed away with the only undefeated championship season in NFL history. Um, Topic for today though. Um, we gotta discuss Andy Dalton very quickly. Um, I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of things. I've heard a lot of things since Andy Dalton apparently got signed to the Dallas Cowboys. And in case you're wondering, yes, I'm upset that Dak Prescott has not been signed been signed under a new contract yet. Everyone's saying the Cowboys are caving in. You know they're gonna sign Dak. What other choice do they have to sign Dak? Um, Really, I think that was one of the first guys you should have brought in. They went through the draft. They signed Ezekiel Elliott. They made sure almost everyone else in their organization got their money. Um, at this point, once you sign Andy Dalton and you don't sign Dak, I mean, how do you expect people to look at that? Is my first question. I, don't get me wrong, Andy Dalton, he's a productive quarterback. I'm not gonna say great. I'm not gonna say elites. I'm not gonna make it seem like he's done so much better than Dak Prescott. He's just played longer and he's had more passing yards. But at the end of the day, Andy Dalton has far more losing seasons. All right, he has not yet won a playoff game in his entire career. Um, the the thing that bothers me is just the simple fact that Dak Prescott has taken you to the playoffs, and he's taken you past round one twice. Twice. He's taken you past round one twice. Andy Dalton, even if even Andy Dalton in his best regular season could not get a wild card bye, and now with the CBA going on, only the top team in each conference is getting a wild card bye. Has Andy Dalton ever been first or second seed in his career, even for that matter? No, no, it has not happened. It has not happened. I'm not gonna sit here and make it seem like Andy Dalton is this heavenly guy, or that he's this great quarterback or this elite quarterback. Because for those of you who think Andy Dalton is so great, right? For those of you who think Andy Dalton is so great, why isn't Dak cut yet? Because they need Dak Prescott at the end of the day. But it really upset me because it just shows like how much the Cowboys really care about Dak's future. Stephen A. Smith said it himself. I'm not gonna quote word for word or verbatim, but he basically said that if I was Dak, I would request a trade. I would try to get my way out of there before they show even more unappreciation towards me. Then there's that question: do the Cowboys appreciate Dak Prescott? Clearly, they don't appreciate him enough. I mean, I get it. You still haven't gotten to the NFC Championship since Michael Irvin or Troy Aikman or Emmitt Smith last wore a football jersey. I totally understand all of that. But if you're upset at one person, Dak Prescott needs to be the last person you're upset at. I think the first person we should be upset at, well, Jason Garrett's gone. I think the first person we should be upset at is the owner, Jerry Jones, and whoever else. I'm not gonna say whoever else allowed him to make decisions because he's the sole owner at the end of the Cowboys at the end of the day. But there's just it's just too much. There's just too much. It's too much hubbubaloo to do just this to do the right thing, and this is why the Cowboys don't get further, because they take so long and cause all this drama to do what everyone knows they should do. They try to be so big and so unpredictable. They want to be talked about more than any other team. Well, you are being talked about more than any other team. But where are you going with all that talk? Where are you going with all the hype? Where are you going? Whose expectations are you fulfilling right now? Signing Andy Dalton before you sign your own starting quarterback who got you a playoff game. This man, Andy Dalton in Cincinnati, he couldn't even win the division. I don't even think the Bengals won the division. Well, let me backtrack. Let me backtrack that. Let me backtrack that. Let me get my car fast before I get 100% on that because I think the Bengals won one division title. I'm not sure, but they damn sure didn't win more than one. Okay. The Ravens and the Steelers have taken over the AFC North for years. The Browns nor the Bengals have taken the Browns nor the Bengals have taken the first top spot in the division. And if they did, again, they never got a wild card bye. Andy Dalton was never the best team, never had the best team in the league. He was never the best player in the league. Oh yeah, by the way, for someone who's so elite, let's see, never led the league in passing yards in one season, never led in most touchdowns in one season, never led. I mean, I mean, he's passed for 30,000 yards without a playoff win. If that's what you call achievement, if that's what you call achievement, Dallas Cowboys, then by all means, then that's the move to make. Then that's the move to make. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Dak Prescott should have just. Maybe Dak Prescott should have just. I don't know. Tried harder not to make the playoffs, and maybe that would have pleased you. I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't know what the Cowboys expected out of this, but they wanted. But I kind of see where they're going with it because they wanted a solid backup. They wanted someone who could back up Dak Prescott when he's hurt. And in a regular season, Andy Dalton might be the guy to solve your problem. But if Dak Prescott is hurt in the playoffs, the way Carson Wentz was hurt in the playoffs, Andy Dalton is not the guy to call. I, it, I feel like, look, if you wanted a solid backup, this was the move to make. If you wanted a solid backup for the 2020 season, this was the move to make. If you wanted to go to the Super Bowl, this was. If you wanted to go to the Super Bowl, you just went the complete opposite direction. That's all I'm gonna say. If the Cowboys wanted to go to a Super Bowl, this was not the move. This was not the move to make. It certainly wasn't. But who knows? Maybe Andy Dalton might improve himself. I mean, the season hasn't technically started yet. By the way, the NFL called off international games due to the coronavirus, and in wake of and amid coronavirus pandemic, the NFL is still starting its season in September. I'm still going to be looking forward to, which I'm still going to be looking forward to. Am I upset that am I upset that they've chosen to stuck with their date? Uh, I don't really have a solid opinion on that. I'm kind of 50-50. Because for the safety of the people, I feel like we could have just either canceled or postponed. But there's a lot. But I don't think anyone realizes that. I don't think anyone realizes that the NFL is elite. They like to play by their own rules. The NBA and the MLB. Shout out to all the leagues that are doing their part. They're doing their part. Not to say the NFL has, because the NFL has contributed to communities. The NFL actually, they're helping in certain ways. The players, I'm not going to really say the owners or Roger Goodell himself, but most of the league, especially the NFL Players Union, a lot of those guys are helping the to relieve the country from what has struck us lately. But yeah, back to what I was saying. Let's see. Teams. Nope, can't go to bank. Nope, I have to go to the Cowboys now because that's the team that he signed under now. Teams, Dallas Cowboys. Depth chart. Quarterback. These are okay. So these are the quarterbacks they have. According to ESPN.com, Dak Prescott is still the starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. He just hasn't put pen on paper for a new contract. That's it. Dak Prescott is still a Cowboy for the most part. For what we know, he's still a starting quarterback for the Cowboys. Behind him, there's Andy Dalton. Behind Andy Dalton is Ben DiNucci, and behind Ben DiNucci is Clayton Thorson. I don't wish Dak to get hurt, and I'm glad that Dak is one of those durable quarterbacks that rarely gets hurt. But Dak gets hurt. Which one of these QBs are really going to help you? That's my question. That's my question, because that that's the biggest question with even making this move to get Dalton. I mean, I feel like there were a handful of other quarterbacks you could have got. The Cowboys didn't want to be the team to take a quarterback in the draft with an elite quarterback on their team. No shade going to the Green Bay Packers, but this move is just awkward to me. I'm not even gonna say it disgusts me. It's just awkward. In his entire career, okay, last season, 2019 season, Andy Dalton had 3,494 passing yards, 18th in the league, which is 18th in the league. So 17 quarterbacks passed for more yards than him, and he was a starter. So likely half of the league passed better than him. And mathematically, all those quarterbacks didn't even make the postseason. Okay, so 16 passing touchdowns sounds like a lot. Wow. 29th in the league though. 28 quarterbacks got more than 16 touchdowns. 14 interceptions, tied for 26, because a lot of guys did throw a lot more interceptions. I'll give him that. He didn't throw more interceptions than touchdowns. And his QBR was 40.1. 40.1 QBR. Yes, QBR does matter, Cowboys fans. Don't try to pretend it doesn't. No. Dak Prescott, his QBR was 70.2. QBR is ranked 4th in the league. Only three quarterbacks have had a better QBR than Dak Prescott last season. Tom Brady wasn't one of them. He had 30 passing touchdowns. Jameis Winston had 30 passing touchdowns and 30 interceptions. Dak Prescott had 30 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. Jameis Winston has a contract. Andy Dalton has a contract. How does he not? Total yards, 4,902 yards. Second in overall passing yards. This man had over 5,000 yards last season alone. Only one quarterback passed for more yards than him. It's not Andy Dalton, and it's not Jameis Winston, but they have contracts. This is my issue. He has 11 interceptions, 19th in the league. 18 quarterbacks have thrown more interceptions than him. Andy Dalton threw more interceptions than him. Jameis Winston threw more interceptions than him. They have the contracts though, as backups. And I see what these teams are doing. Like, it's not no shade at the Saints, because the Saints, they had Drew Brees. They're gonna make sure Drew Brees is accommodated. The Cowboys, I don't know. This is my big theory on this. Please, I'm not 100% on this. I could be wrong. I think this theory is very wrong, but it kind of very wrong. But in my head, it just adds up. So I feel like ever since Tony Romo has been gone, Jerry Jones felt a part of himself leave that team. And I'm only going to say that because remember how long it took for Jerry Jones to say, okay, you know what? We're going to get Dak Prescott. Like, everyone was begging him to do it, but he was like, no, but Tony this, but Tony that. Now Tony's gone. Tony's gone to sportscasting. You have Dak Prescott. He's your quarterback, and he's winning. He's winning. he like last season wasn't a winning season, and he was under coach Jason Garrett at that. He took Jason Garrett to he took Jason Garrett pat. No, I'm not gonna say he took Jason Garrett past him. Under the coach of Jason Garrett, went past the first round twice in his career. Andy Dalton under Marvin Lewis got booted out of every postseason he walked into. When he got hurt, AJ McCarron was his backup, and AJ McCarron couldn't even win a postseason game. So I get it. Andy Dalton is in a better situation than he was in Cincinnati. But Dak Prescott's situation, this Dallas situation, is all he's really had. But Dak Prescott did say somewhere last season, between week 16 and 17. I think I remember this too. Before his Redskins game, before week 17, the 47-16 win against the Redskins. Before that game started, he said, "This might be my final game in this uniform." In all honesty. So, to a certain level, Dak was already kind of fed up with the decisions that the Cowboys were making. But Jason Garrett is gone now. Mike McCarthy is the new head coach. And I don't even think Mike McCarthy would want Andy Dalton as a starting quarterback. I don't think Mike McCarthy would want that. After coaching Aaron Rodgers and having Matt Flynn as a backup and having Brett Hundley and DeShone Kizer as a backup, I don't think he would want Andy Dalton as a starter. I think the reason Jerry Jones wants this to happen, though, I just think he needs a quarterback that's desperate enough to kiss his ass, and Dak Prescott just isn't gonna do it. There, I said it. I'm only saying it because I think that's why he did this. And there's no greater logic to this other than Jerry Jones wanting his ass kissed, or getting a solid backup for Dak Prescott. Other than those two possible reasons, there was no reason for making this move. You couldn't have thought Andy Dalton was going to be better than Dak Prescott. You couldn't have thought Andy Dalton was going to be better than Jalen Hurts or Carson Wentz. Jalen Hurts hasn't played a single NFL snap, though. But you couldn't have thought he was better than Carson Wentz. And Carson Wentz underperformed last year like a motherfucker. But I'm gonna be reading up more on the Dallas Cowboys and on Dak Prescott specifically as well, because I find it very offensive. I take offense to it. I feel hurt for him because you were top 5 in passing yards, passing touchdowns, and QBR, and you were on the bottom half for interceptions thrown. So you turned the ball over 11 times in 16 games. You averaged less than 1 interception a week. You were top 5 in touchdowns, top 5 in passing yards, top 5 in QBR, and you still don't have a contract. That Andy Dalton is signed, and Jameis Winston is signed, and Teddy Bridgewater now is signed. Not to take anything away from Teddy Bridgewater, because he's the one name I mentioned outside of Dak Prescott just now in these last 60 seconds that isn't horrible. Teddy Bridgewater is decent. He had an 8-1 record. 8-1 record when Drew Brees was out. I mean, not a lot of people want to talk about that for obvious reasons, but pay Dak Prescott. Sign Dak Prescott. You want to sign everybody else. Sign the man that that made your offense better. Because your offense is only going to get worse without him. And that's my final statement on this Andy Dalton signing. This is ISCD Hinton from the Saint Sports Comedy signing off. I'm leaving all of my accounts in the descriptions. My YouTube, my Instagram, my Facebook, my Snap, my Twitter, and all of that. I'm gonna be probably making another video before I head out, but if not, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Later.